victory by way of single-party votes. The same is true when he agrees with Senator Schumer on the idea of discarding the filibuster. And the same criticisms would fit the Trump administration regarding judicial appointments and more. In short, we are spinning out of control. It's as if centrifugal force is pulling us further and further apart. At some point, if we pull hard enough in opposite directions, things break. Divided, we cannot stand. And yet increasingly we live in a land that is not only divided, but bitter in its division. Given the vitriol pervading Washington, many days it seems there is no path to redemption. But one thing Frost neglected to mention is that every fork in the road inevitably leads to yet another. Like ripples on a pond, the ever-expanding effect of choices made grows with the passage of time. And just as that first choice makes all the difference, so, too, do successive choices that follow. Time has a way of expanding the effect of our significant decisions in life. But the fatalism of Frost's phrase, "and that made all the difference," belies the fact that sometimes God gives us second chances, and with them the chance to learn from one's previous decision and begin anew and afresh. As I write this in the late spring of 2021, our nation stands at another crossroads. The road we take going forward will determine the future we leave to those who will follow us. The implications of these decisions will be borne by our children and their children's children. Our choices today are significant because they will stand as monuments in reflecting who we really are and what we stand for and believe. I took a road less traveled at a different crossroads in 2009, and it was not along the Appalachian Trail. That year I fell deeply in love with a woman who lived 5,000 miles away and was not my wife. I completely mishandled that chapter of my life, and its consequences were disastrous. It was a journey that cost me dearly, and I don't know that I will ever fully comprehend its total cost. Just as those ever-expanding ripples on placid waters define the reverberations that Frost alluded to in his description of paths taken in the journey of life, so too will the consequences of my choices reverberate until the day I die. I wish I could go back and do many days differently in my life, but those days stand out above all others. But going back is not real life. We get our one shot at each day, and on some days we do far better than we could have ever imagined, while on other days we fall far shorter than we could have ever dreamed. And though we can choose our sins, we can never choose their consequences, and under their weight we move forward as best we can in this all-too-short journey called life. In the wake of all that came after 2009, divorce, trust lost, and condemnation abounding, I was cut off and alone. Isolation forces deliberation and soul-searching. I tried both to make amends where I could to the people who would accept them and, with some measure of humility, to absorb the condemnation of those who would not forgive me. The story of that road I took is part of this book, not because I want to justify my actions, but as a way of registering the fact that my life's path has given me an acute appreciation of Frost's notion of crossroads and the consequences of differing paths, as well as the power of grace, the chance to learn from one's past, and the opportunity for refocusing that comes with that learning. Even those most wounded among us have something to offer. We can learn and see more if we take the time to look at things through another's eyes. Whether we have the humility to do so is one of the great mysteries of life. But it's through the normal course of speaking, listening, and learning that we have the chance to gain each other's perspectives and become the wiser for it. This book is my attempt to do just that, because while some of the people I let down forgave me and others never will, it's still incumbent upon all of us to point to truth as we see it, regardless of our wounds.